Are you someone who thought 2.2 would come out in October? Are you someone who, after the disappointing post by RobTop that 2.2 would be delayed until November, went to go watch the highly anticipated 2.2 trailer and thought, oh my god, all this stuff is so sick, I can't wait to play it. And then also thought, this is so much stuff. This is overwhelming. This is crazy. Oh my god. 2.2 is going to be the best and worst thing to happen to Geometry Dash. That was basically my reaction. And here we are at the end of November, and 2.2 is still not out. The beta is getting updated more frequently, yes. There's still a chance that things, can be released before November ends, but it's been an interesting few months for us players. So going back to the trailer, I thought I'd break it down, but everyone's kind of done their definitive breakdowns. Colin's video was like the most beautiful, comprehensive 2.2 video I've ever seen. So I thought I'd take this from a different angle and do a tier list, but not just any tier list for the trailer, not ranking on best to worst. I'm going to be ranking this on how overwhelming each feature is for me. So instead of the normal tiers, we got stress tier. This is the top tier. This is the, oh my god, this is so overwhelming. This is going to be crazy. This is just going to be insane when 2.2 comes out. I'm not ready for it. Then we've got ample anxiety, where it's like, yeah, this is pretty stressful, but not the top tier. Brutal, but based. Like, it's going to suck, but also I'm excited for it. Chill and cool, basically excited for it. And DTD down to dash. This is the stuff that I'm like locked in, like, let's go. This is going to be great. I got a little creative with the alliteration, but don't think about it too much. Okay. So, we've got a bunch of things to cover here. I'm just in Photoshop, and I had a bunch of layers. I basically just did the screenshots that had the little, like, text on the screen. Obviously, there's the stuff in the changelog. I'm not getting super nitty-gritty with that. Just kind of the stuff that was really featured front and center in the trailer that I want to break down. Starting off with 700 new icons. This is right off the bat, Matt. Right off the bat, I think this is exciting in a lot of ways, just because so much more customization, so many of the icons are community made. So that element is really cool, to just get more of the community involved in making these icons. But for me, who makes skits, especially if icons can talk, 700 new icons, and if I want all of them to talk, like, this is gonna be, my skits are gonna have to turn into feature-length films at this point, so I think that's kind of stress tier for me. And also just the process of unlocking them is going to be really fun, obviously, because we need new content after 6 years, but a little stressful for me. All right, next one here, new main level. I mean, honestly, I'm down to dash, baby. I'm down to dash. Actually, it's funny, down to dash, and the level is called dash, as far as we know. So I'm down to dash starting off. We know that Explorers is not really going to be coming out in the main 2.2 release now, which, I mean, RobTop, you've had an extra month of development than what you promised, so maybe you can just throw it in the main update and not still wait for a little small update. But if he's taking more time to perfect it, that's great. But I'm down to dash for this, because new main level, love the main levels, love seeing RobTop's take on how, like, he shows off all the new features, and new main levels are always fun. It's the first thing I do in the new update, right? Everyone's gonna be kind of racing to be that first upload, and hopefully I'll be right there with them. So down to dash, that's going to be a fun way to start off 2.2 with the new main level. Next up, the swing game mode. I think, what are we thinking for this one? I don't know. I think it's overall really cool, and the functionality I think is cool, but it's very adjacent to, like, the ship. It's not really that stressful for me. I think it's just going to be exciting to have something new, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be super, like, game changing. I think a lot of swing parts will resemble ship parts, at least to start off, especially this one here in dash, right? I'm gonna say chill and cool, I'm not fully on board, like, down to dash, like, let's go, but I think it's gonna be chill and cool. It's not gonna really fully change the game, at least right away, but it'll obviously be cool to see how creators kind of take the swing game mode. New game type, platformer. All right, this for me is, I think I'm just putting this up in stress tier, dude. This is one of those things for me where, like, in the trailer, where obviously we've known about platformer mode for so long, but it's basically a whole new game within a game, And to me, that's like really stressful to just kind of adapt to a whole new way of playing. It's going to be really sick to see what people make, and sick to just kind of see a different layer of Geometry Dash kind of be unlocked. But right now it's kind of stressful for me to think about like doing all this stuff in a whole new game mode. And especially, and we haven't even gotten into the editor stuff yet, but just everything that's involved in the editor for this and for platformer mode and just the added layer of everything. As someone who just kind of loves the normal way of Geometry Dash, adding this whole like separate game basically, little stressful for me, but I am excited for it. It is just it kind of seems like a little bit of a can of worms, and obviously we'll get to the editor stuff. 4 new platformer levels is the next one. I think because these are like official Robtop levels, I'm excited for it. I'm gonna put this in the chill and cool, because I was wondering if he was gonna do official stuff. Maybe that'll be in, the map. There's been speculation about that, like, the tower that leads to the map and all that. Maybe the platformer levels will be in there. Maybe there will be a separate main menu for platformer levels. Don't know. But I think it's nice to have, like, Robtop ones to help people kind of ease into it, kind of serve as a framework for, like, just normal platformer levels, right? I'm really down to have the platformer levels from Robtop. I'm excited for that. Chill and cool. And now we get into the editor stuff. So this is going to be a big section of the video. Over 6,000 songs to start off the editor stuff. This for me, there's been a lot of talk about just having default like Kevin MacLeod loops and songs and stuff as like a big bulk of the audio. I know Sharks is making a Geometry Dash sound kit thing, so maybe there will be more actual songs here and not just kind of copyright free loop short snippets of songs. But I think overall this is really cool. I'm gonna do down to dash for this. Just the customization of the sound effects in the library are really nice, and so I'm really down to kind of see like how people are kind of using the library to their advantage. Change song whenever. Again, I think this is another down to dash. I need to make these squares smaller. But change song whenever. This is gonna be so cool. Like switching up a song, switching up a vibe in a level. It's not just based on what the song creator made. You can have a part that's super crazy, a part that's super chill. That customization is awesome, and especially on platformer mode where maybe you can kind of go at your own pace and the songs are kind of like ambient songs for each section or biome, I guess, if it's switching up like in the trailer, going through a cave from one area to another, right? I'm down to dash with that, baby. I'm down. And then the sound effects, I'm gonna do down to dash as well. And yeah, we gotta make some smaller squares here. You know what? I'm gonna actually move this from down to dash to like chill and cool. I don't know. I could also even bump this to brutal but based. I'm just thinking about how this can easily be abused. Songs less so, just because we've had custom songs be a part of the game for so long. I know Robtop is obviously vetting the sounds, but I'm just thinking about how this could be abused, or like, people have asked like, oh, can you add like a metal pipe sound effect? I think I'm actually, I don't know why I started this with down to dash. I think just because I was thinking about the audio customization, but I'm gonna move this up to brutal but based, because ultimately I'm just thinking about like ear rape. I know obviously Robtop is vetting these sounds and he's putting them in, and not anyone can just upload any random MP3 file. That would be hell. I also acknowledge how like really sick it is for the world building aspect of levels and the ambience of levels, so I think this could go either way. This could be really sick and then also be abused, kind of like the shake trigger. We'll see how that goes. We will see how that goes, but I'm putting that in brutal but based. I also kind of need to fill out these other sections because I'm realizing I'm running out of space. Next one, change volume by proximity. I think this is really sick. This could also maybe go with like sound effects, like you get close to like a certain object and like it gets super crazy. I'm gonna put that in chill and cool. I think it's cool. I'm not like, it's not something I'm so deeply excited about, but just a cool thing. Like in the trailer here, like the robot got close to the diamond and the diamond started like glistening, and there was like a fading in shining sound, like a diamond sound. you get what I'm saying. Yeah, chill and cool. I like it. Change volume by proximity. Really cool. 9,999 groups and triggers. This for me is, I'm gonna say ample anxiety. on the one hand, it's sick because like 999 just is not enough for some levels, but also I'm just thinking about the creators who just do not optimize their groups at all. Levels are just going to be like even less optimized in some ways, I think. Like a group for like one object, and you could obviously, you know, maybe optimize it in some cases, but overall I think like ample anxiety because it just opens up like everything for creators to just use all these groups. But I do think obviously it's really good to have, and levels are just going to be insane with the amount of things you can tie to groups. So just really like enhancing this tenfold, because right now it's the max is like 999. Just wild. But yeah, that's ample anxiety for me for sure. Rotate gameplay. This is an interesting one because I really see the potential in this, and we've seen this in the sneak peeks, especially with explorers. The main thing with this, and Colin touched on this in his review, is that these little arrow indicators are not necessarily going to be like what changes the gravity. How RobTop really works with these features is these features are just done with triggers in the background, and then it's kind of up to the creator to do like a front-facing decoration that kind of shows the player, oh, okay, if I hit this section, I'll flip gravity. But then also there would be levels that could just randomly flip gravity and rotate your gameplay without any indicator, and you're just like, what just happened? Like, I was not expecting that. And with demons, that's just going to be insane and not fun. So I think with the indicators, it's really sick because it shows like, oh, okay, like if I hit this arrow, I'm going to switch to this gravity. And that can be really fun and cool. But with no indicators, it's awful. So I'm going to say brutal but based for this because it's a really cool new game mechanic that's, I think, really fun and dynamic. And we've seen that in the sneak peeks. But at the same time, creators got to have some indicators. And demon levels are just going to be like, huh. A part of the reason why this is hard is because we're not indicating when the gravity is changing. It's brutal, but it's based. It's a cool gameplay feature. Create custom particles. We've seen the particle editor since like 2020 or whenever that video came out, 2019. I forget. The editor preview video. Really cool customization. So many sliders and things to select in the trigger for creating custom particles. I think it's chill and cool. I don't really have too much anxiety for it. I do think like just getting a featured level is going to be so hard. Like, obviously I know there are the new tiers of rates, but like just the fact that everything down to like particles are kind of being scrutinized is like, oh, maybe like a custom particle would be like a really cool way to enhance level that could get your level featured or not. So I feel like certain things are getting so inaccessible for just normal players to jump into creating to get a level that's, you know, rated. But I think it's mostly chill and cool to have particle editors and just yeah, have little like raindrops and just have it be, you know, something the creator can kind of make. Like in this example, obviously the raindrops. Moving on to shader effects. I have 2 layers for this one because it can kind of be a spectrum for me. So shader effects, this is cool. You go like underwater. It was like really cool, like fun. You know, I think that's chill and cool. Then you get to this one, which was showed off in the trailer, and this is just like it kind of shows me like how this could be abused. It's just like weird random pixels and it just gets really 8-bit or even less than 8-bit. I don't even know. But just this is like where I can see this really being abused. And I think people can really just use shaders to like evil means to just literally make levels just look unplayable. So I'm going to put that in the stress tier for like the top level of shaders. But like if it's just like a little like bubbly underwater effect, that's cute and fun. But if you're doing like stuff like this where the gameplay is like obscured with pixels, I don't know, it's a little stress tier for me. A little stress tier for me. Gradient trigger. This is sick. I mean, I'm down to dash with this one. I gotta move. Oh god, I gotta move my like square here. Okay, I moved the square of my upcoming slides up there. But gradient trigger, look, I'm down. It looks sick. In the trailer, it was really cool. Also that like Mandalorian looking icon, sick. Not related to the gradient trigger, but just a really cool way to like highlight this stuff. Area trigger. I think the stuff that they showed in the trailer was really cool. It was this example like falling through all the blocks, and the one with like the torch with you know, going through the dark area, so it's kind of activated when you go near something, right? I think it's really cool. I'm just gonna say down to dash. I'm just gonna say down to dash. And I need to rejigger this because I'm running out of space. Moving on to full camera control. This is something we've seen since the original 2.2 previews and Geometry Dash Sub-Zero almost 6 years ago. I like it, but part of it gives me anxiety for sure. Just like we've seen some of these like levels that look like you know, like TikTok edits of just like super crazy flashy, like switching up the camera. I think it's obviously massive, and especially for platformer levels, it's awesome to just kind of zoom the camera out or zoom in or tilt it or all these things. It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be literally Geometry Dash movies left and right in levels with all these dynamic camera controls. But it gives me ample anxiety to just kind of see the normal fixed screen of levels just kind of fully be blown out of proportion, and it's just open now. So I acknowledge that it's really, really cool and I'm excited for it, but it gives me ample anxiety for sure, just having full camera. Keyframe system, I'm putting this up in stress tier, dude. This is, I mean, I think for me, this just kind of reminds me of like After Effects, and I just don't know how After Effects works, and I'm like not bad with motion graphics, but like I just don't even know really how they work, and anything with keyframes like kind of stresses me out. So I'm just thinking about that in Geometry Dash and the editor. We saw the preview of it last summer, 2022, right? It just seems like a lot. And, you know, you can just give any object, you know, a motion path now, and just it just literally is becoming a full-on game engine and a full-on like Adobe software, basically. Like it literally is just becoming its own Adobe Creative Suite. Geometry Dash just equals the Adobe Creative Suite right now. It's crazy. Because of that, the keyframe system, I don't want to touch it. It just scares me. I think it's really cool for creators who are going to go off with it, but like just thinking about me using it and thinking about how any random object now can just move and kill you, and in custom ways, it's just it's a little stressful for me. Auto build system, I mean, this is just like, I'm just down to Dash, baby. This is just easy. Just makes things easy. You can fill in a whole section of things in an easy way, and it's easy for creators. So down to Dash. Not much more to say. It's a cool system. Advanced follow trigger, I mean, I think this could be, I'm gonna put this in brutal but based, because this is really cool, and like just the missile example I think is a really cool way to show it off in platformer mode. But I'm just thinking about annoying things that can just be following you in levels, or like little sprites that just like you want to get rid of, and like they're just kind of following you wherever you go, and they're following you and they're following you, and maybe you want to get rid of them. I don't know. I'm thinking of like if you have like a little sidekick through a platformer level who can give you information when you hit new checkpoints. I don't know. Like I'm thinking about just any exploration game like Undertale or Pokemon or something like that. But if you got random stuff like missiles following you all the time, it's, you know, could be a little annoying to just have stuff on the screen just always kind of following you, but we'll see how that goes. Remap Spawn setups is the next one. This one I think is, look, I think it's chill and cool. I'm not good with spatial awareness. Okay, Remap Spawn setups. This was just in the trailer, just kind of showing how like you go on a platform and it can sink down and then go back to like its origin of how it was kind of like spawned or like set up, right? Cool. You don't need to do that in like a custom way with doing a move trigger that is, you know, sensing when you're hitting the block. You know, it can just kind of automatically go back to where it was after the icon left it. That's cool. That's cool. That's just a nice quality of life improvement. That's chill and cool. Not much more to say. I'm not like so excited about it, but just a nice little add-on. And now we get to the and much more stuff. So we hit all the editor stuff. We obviously hit all the stuff before the editor stuff, just kind of touching on the icons and the platformer mode and the new levels. Now we get into the final few shots that were just kind of flashing before the end of the trailer, just showing all the different other random features that are going to be added in 2.2. So we've got a bunch of these. Starting off with the level lists. I think it's chill and cool. I gotta squish this in here. It's chill and cool. It's a nice way to just group things. I saw that people were saying you can group like levels you've completed, or like demon levels you completed, or like levels that kind of fit a certain theme, or like in this one it's an example of all the Discord Gauntlet contest entries, right? So you can group levels based on like want to play them later, or like, oh, like I got 2 coins on this but I need to like get a 3rd coin, you can save it for later. Like I think that is just great. Just that customization of adding it to like a custom list. You can share the lists around. You can do like whatever. Maybe I'm just thinking of YouTubers here. Like EVW could do like a beat like the EVW challenge pack. Like you can make it like a map pack kind of, and it's like I challenge you to beat through all these levels that I set up. You know, things like that. Like I think it can really be cool to just have customization of grouping levels together. You can do like level playlists in a way, right? Yeah, I think it's a nice way. It's kind of like custom map packs in a way if you kind of think about it. Minus the rewards, but just a way to just list group levels together that isn't just like in folders. We have the folders now, obviously, but just doing the lists and sharing them around. All right, we got the 2 shops here. This one is diamonds, but it's diamonds. I know people have talked about that online, that maybe it's not the exact diamonds you get from like the dailies and the weeklies and stuff, but a different type of diamond currency. For me, it's chill and cool. I'm down to like use my diamonds up for something. I like all the chops. The Shop Showdown is my most popular skit. Gonna have hopefully these characters in a sequel, maybe, hopefully. And then the mechanic we've seen so much, just another orb shop with more icons. I mean, I don't know how many shops we can really do before this format gets a little old, but I don't know. I'm gonna say down to dash because like I just have a million orbs and I just need to spend them and it'll be fun. The treasure room. So this is tier 1. So we already have the 1 demon key, 5 demon key ones. Then we get to the 10 demon key ones. Okay, we're getting a little crazy. So, you know, that's chill and cool. That kind of ups the ante a little bit. Then we get to the next tier, tier 2, and oh my goodness gracious, we have 25 demon keys per chest, 50 demon keys per chest, and 100 demon keys per chest. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my god. I'm putting this at, for me, I'm gonna do ample anxiety, but just thinking about the whole community, man, this is going into stress tier, dude. This is just like, Colin said it best. If you have an icon that you want to unlock that you know is in these, like, bro, like, come on. This is just stupid. Like, 100 demon keys per chest. I don't even have enough demon keys overall. Here we have like the example of 2,500. I think you need something like over 3,000, and I don't even have that much. And usually I thought, oh, like I'll be good with all the stuff I've grinded throughout 2.1 to just instantly unlock everything in 2.2. I'm happy that I'm gonna have to work for some things, but oh my god, 100 per chest. It's just asking new players to get up there. If they have an icon that they like that's unlockable in there, it's just brutal. It's brutal. Like, it's gonna take you months or years to grind to get up there. So that is a little scary, I gotta say. Moving on to the FPS. Well, this is just advanced video options screen, but unlock FPS. I honestly am not super well versed in the FPS bypass system, but just seeing how people are talking about it online, I'm gonna put this in ample anxiety because people seem a little pissed off about this. So I gotta think that's some anxiety there. Moving on, Shards of Power. I mean, it's brutal, but like based, I guess. Like, I don't know. I have 2 of these because they're 2 shard screens. I don't love shards. They're not my favorite thing ever. The collectibles, they're not, I don't know. They just weren't that fun to kind of progress through. It makes sense he's expanding them. You know, maybe you can get them in new ways. It's not my favorite part of the game. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's just, They're fine. They're not great. I'm not gonna be super excited to get new shards, but whatever. And then the final screen is the tower. We don't fully know what's in the tower. It's maybe gonna lead to the map, which could be platformer levels. It could be just random custom levels like gauntlets or map packs. Hopefully it's something that's different. I would like it to be something different because picking random featured levels from like early on in each update is not really held up the test of time. I love map packs so much. I am a big map pack lover. I know that's a massive hot take. You can go get at me in the comments for that, but I also acknowledge that a lot of the levels are not good. The reason why I like the map packs is because I feel like playing awful levels is kind of like a part of Geometry Dash, and it's just kind of like a part of the experience and what every player should kind of go through to appreciate the really good levels even more. And like, you know, there's some sense of like accomplishment when you're like, I just beat that awful level with awful gameplay, but I somehow survived. Like, I think that is a quintessential part of Geometry Dash. I'm rambling here. I just think it's a cool new idea to maybe expand the lore and just have another interesting playable dimension to the game through the tower and maybe the map if it's in there. So I'm gonna say, oof. I'm gonna just put this in chill and cool. I think it's gonna be cool. I'm not like so excited for it, but just it's a cool new little feature and it looks cute. It's a little tower. Okay, I'm thinking of moving the Shards of Power up to ample anxiety just because I really did not have a fun time unlocking shards in 2.1. So I just don't really care. And there are just so many currencies, I feel like. Now we have the moons coming out, right? There are just so many new like random collectibles. So I'm moving that up to ample anxiety just because I did not really have fun collecting the shards and there are so many new shards. I think everything else is pretty good. But honestly, this is kind of like an even split, which is kind of surprising because I feel like I thought I was more, you know, scared for certain things. I mean, being scared for platformer mode, I think is a pretty big thing because that's going to be a pretty big new part of the game. But yeah, this is a pretty even mix. Everything from stress tier down to dash. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to kind of see this as it comes and see like, because we're obviously getting all this at once, which is just utterly insane. Nothing is really going to be staggered, So it's going to be interesting to see kind of the things that from right off the bat, what's really fun and what's really annoying. And there's always kind of growing pains through each update. A bunch of user created levels from the beginning of 2.1, 2.0, and 1.9. You know, they're not beautiful because people are just kind of going through all the new features and trying to kind of figure out, you know, what works best. And there's kind of some time that is needed before people can kind of understand what's good and what's not good. But I also am scared for like there just being super crazy unrealistic standards now because of all these new features, and there's going to kind of be a pressure, I think, to include a lot of these in levels to just have something that's going to be worth people's time. And I think sometimes that can be a little stressful. There's definitely an elitist vibe at times to creating, and I think there's some danger in that. But overall, just the amount of new features that creators get access to is beautiful, even though I am a little scared about, you know, some of those, you know, some of that divide between more casual players and super hardcore players. But this is my tier list. Let me know if you guys agree with anything. And this was really fun to kind of break down the trailer. I think it's really cool that we got a trailer and just kind of, you know, something that was there to hold us over and show us everything that's coming up in the update that should come out hopefully before the end of November. If it's pushed back to December, I'm fine with it. Robtop is perfecting this thing and it's going to be crazy when it drops. But this is my tier list. Definitely some things will be stressful and anxious, but overall, I'm down to dash. I literally, I'm trying to like weave in what I said in the tier list to like my closing statement in the video, but I'm just literally sounding really cringe. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for watching the tier list. See you guys in 2.2. And happy holidays. It's that time of year when RobTop drops stuff around the holidays, hopefully. Please release in 2023, please.